Yeah, exactly. You're not supposed to see this. Okay. Hello everyone. Welcome to Telegraph Android. I'm Kaan. I'm a mobile software engineer at My Drive Solutions in London. And I'm also a Google Developer Group London lead. You can find me on social media through my handle, or you can go to my website and I have all sorts of links that leads to my social media. So today I'm going to talk about sharing. So you spent lots of time creating a beautiful app like this, but probably more beautiful than this because this is still a work in progress. This is an app I'm currently working on for GDG DevFest this year in London. It will be in 1st December. So as you can see, if you won't get enough of me here, you can come there and I'll give talks in 3 parallel sessions all day long. So yeah, no, seriously though, there will be good speakers other than me, so come. Yeah, so like I said, this is still in work in progress, and but I spend lots of time on it. I'll spend more, and I'm sure all of you like have similar apps, or like either professional or personal on your free time you're working on such things. So after spending this much time, we really want users to share our app. So in this is the session details screen, which is work in progress. I put this beautiful button so that users can share sessions with their friends. So what are the options, or how can they share? The simplest way is to just share it as a text, basically, without like getting into any trouble. Just basically convert your content, which is seen here, into a text, and then like users can basically share it through their channels. But the issue here is that the person who will receive this message won't see that beautiful app you spent hours and hours on. They won't see other content in your app. They won't be able to basically be your user. It's just they just receive the information and that's it. Because yeah, they won't even know this is coming from an app. It might be just copy paste from the website or something. So that's why we can do better with deep linking. So the deep linking is basically your app just says, hey, phone, I can open URLs like this. So you just basically add this intent filter to your manifest file, into your activity, and that's pretty much it. You got the link. Well, obviously you need to generate the link when you click the share button. But then when the person clicks on this, if everything is perfect, like they got your app, for example, they'll land on your main Okay, I'll go back because she didn't like it. So when they click, they'll land on your home screen, your launcher activity, because you didn't actually handle the link. You just said that you can basically show content of that link. So the phone allowed you to open the app, but then they landed on the main screen, so they don't know which session actually this person was talking about. By the way, this is me texting myself on Slack, so I'm a bit wrong. I just I just realized I put myself everywhere. Yeah, so you can specify that like instead of any link, I will handle just session URLs, and you can put this intent filter to a specific activity which can actually show sessions instead of generic home screen. And in your activity, you get the actually content of the basically the part after this session, which is in this case lunch, by just getting the intent and then data and then path segments. With this logic, it would be not 0 but 1. The path basically just generates array using splashes. Yeah, so we got that. Now, in the, well, a bad case, not the worst actually, it might ask basically the person to choose an app. And this is the lucky case because the person has your app actually. So if you are lucky and have a website as well, the action user will choose won't matter. So either way they will see the content. But if they don't have your app, then they will only basically end up with Chrome. And if you don't have a website, like well, it's possible because on my personal projects I start with Android at least. That probably also finish with Android because I'm an Android developer. So I won't have a website. In this case, I have well, we have a website for DevFest, but that particular link is not handled on the website, so they will end up seeing something like this. So we go back to safe case. We just share the text, and everyone is happy. Thank you very much. No. I mean, again, we had we didn't get that user in our app. So we can specify custom protocol that our app can handle. So Chrome won't jump that it can handle the link as well. So you can do this by changing this scheme to app instead of HTTPS. So now we got something like this. Well, the biggest problem is that if user clicks on this link on web, nothing will, it will try to open, and then it will probably go to some directory or something. So not good things won't happen. If there's no app on a mobile device, then if for example, in this case, Slack is handling it, so it's just showing a toast that you cannot open the link. But if the app is not actually handling it, it will crash because user doesn't have your app and there is no way to open this link. You can say that it's not my app that's crashing, so I don't care. But still, you didn't get the user. So we can do better with Firebase Dynamic Links, not deep linking. It's this, anyway. So on the Firebase website, they described it very nice. That's why I wanted to quote it. It basically provides you with the best available experience. So it allows you to deep link to your app. So basically everything I explained just now. If user doesn't have your app, it opens Play Store. It stays active across installation. So if user doesn't have your app, clicks on the link, goes to Play Store, downloads the app, and then the first time your app launches, it launches with that intent. So you can still show the right content after installation. They don't need to click the link again. It allows you to track usage of the links. It shows how many clicks you get, how many first time user opened it, and if user clicked on that link again later, and how many people installed your app through this link. And also it's multi-platform, so you can do the same stuff on iOS and desktop as well. Basically, it checks from where user is coming, and based on that, for example, I don't have an iOS app, so I just open it on the web browser. And if it's installed, then it goes to app. If it's not installed, then it goes to Play Store. So to set up, this is a statically set up dynamic link. So I just did it on website. Not ideal. You can do it from your app using the SDK. Now in this case, basically, I set the URL link, which is it's not your own website URL or your own domain. It's some Firebase domain and slash. You have subdomain, you have control over subdomain and the path. And then you say you choose where what the actual link is. What you want your app to receive. You define different behaviors for iOS and Android, and finally you can track your link performance. Yeah, that's cool, but we can still do better because users still have to install the app, and lots of users actually just stop at this point and just say never mind, I'll just live without this content. So instead of this, we can just make it better. This is the best we can do right now. User actually doesn't need to install your app to see the content of your app. So in order to work with instant apps, you need to design for modules. So you have feature modules. You have application module, which is what you have right now with normal apps. You have feature modules that are basically doing some specific thing, and handling the data, or just some of them. But in my case, for example, I created one module for just Firebase stuff, Firestore. One for sessions because I want it to be an instant app, so it is on its own module. And you have base module for every instant app application. A base module is basically included in every module. So your app module has it, so your instant app module has it. Every module depends on the base module. And besides that, basically, yeah. So this helps with also app indexing. So if you do the right thing in your manifest, then you will get your app indexed for Google search. So basically, when they search for some session, like some keywords that your sessions, for example, in my case again, your sessions include, then Google will show your app in the search results, and they can just open and see your session details in that case. Some stuff to keep in mind. Most important is that an instant app APKs can't exceed 4 megabytes for now. There is a beta for 10 megabytes. Basically, they pick some specific apps to and allow them to have instant app APKs up to 10 megabytes. The reason is obvious here. The user basically wants to see the content immediately, and if it will be as big as your APK, then they could as well download your app. So it should be as small as possible that user just sees the contents without actually going through lots of steps or waiting for it to load. And when you create new modules, don't forget to add new modules dependencies to the other modules. So if you created, for example, the data module, which handles Firestore, or your database thingy. Then if there are like, for example, app module depends on that. Mostly Android Studio handles this automatically and adds things to dependencies to the other modules, but obviously it doesn't know if it's a feature module, it doesn't know where you will use it, because the goal is to reduce the APK size, so it doesn't add everywhere, because otherwise there's no point. Another thing is that your app depends on every module, so that basically your installed app. So it's basically a full experience. Yeah, this might cause trouble. Dependency versions, they might not match. So if you are using different dependencies on different levels, different modules, and when you import them, they might have conflicting dependencies. I had like quite a lot of issues with Firebase around this. So that's something for me to pay attention. And also a good practice is to extract version numbers. So I'm going to try to show a quick example on Gradle. Basically, you extract all the dependency versions out of the modules to application directory, root directory, so that all modules can use same versions. I'll try to show. Don't forget to add Kotlin plugin everywhere if you are using Kotlin. Sometimes when you create a new module, it doesn't add automatically. Even if it does add Kotlin to dependencies, it doesn't add the plugin sometimes. So, and again, I've seen like many crashes or build errors because of this. I didn't understand why it's happening because the error message is not very clear. So this is something to check. Well, for slides, this is pretty much it, but again, I'll try to show. So I've got this versions Gradle with all the minimum SDK, target SDK, build tools, and all the basic dependency versions. And in the module level Gradle file, I just import. Well, in this case, I imported versions here. I imported, so it applies to all files. But I also have this app Gradle with app versions. So you just basically apply that Gradle file in your app level Gradle file, and then you can just use basically these variables. This helps with if you are using same dependency in multiple modules. But if you have like in this case 4 or 5 modules, you probably don't use same dependency in multiple. If you are using that, you just add it to the base. Let me show the base. So anything you add here basically just applies your all modules. So if you add here, you don't need to add anywhere else. That's why basically if you see like it's happening like 2-3 times in such small project, then you just add it here and then you don't need to worry about it. But if it's like I don't know, project with like tens of modules, then you might have the same dependency in multiple modules. So if you use this structure, then you don't need to worry about the versions conflicting. I also want to show in the documentation page there is this nice kind of design best practices. So one of the things is that could you please share it? Share it. Sorry. technical stuff is done, so we are running out of time, as you know. These are nice recommendations by Google that I wanted to share. But I didn't want to add all of them into these slides. So yeah, basically, this is the if you have try now feature with instant apps, people actually can try your app without downloading it on Google Play. So this is a cool feature. So this is nice advice in my opinion. So don't force people to install your app with instant app. So they like get the link, they click. It happens with like this, what was it? Paywalls kind of. So basically, you open the link, you see like some part of the content, and then in order to see the rest, you need to install the app. So don't do that. Ask users to sign in the appropriate time. So don't push users to sign in, and if some content requires being signed in, then promote the sign-in feature. Preserve user state after app installation. So basically, if user is like using your app as an instant app, they are seeing like, again, I will always give the example, this schedule app, basically GGData's app as an example. So if they are seeing the schedule, and then like during their instant app experience, they install your app. And then once they install it, they should go back to the screen they were before installation. You can do this using cookies. It's an SDK, part of instant app SDK that you can use. Don't create any additional splash screens. Splash screens are like, some people just love them so much that I even had experience that it should be at least 3 seconds, 5 seconds, even if because splash screen's goal is to just load the content, but some people just in order to show their logo or something, they just put a specific time. So with instant apps, definitely don't do that, because instant apps are already loading with this native screen by Google Play. So just show your content without any splash screen. In an instant app, if user, again on the schedule screen, if user clicks taps back button in the bottom navigation, then they will just leave your instant app. But the app arrow shouldn't do this. It should always go one screen up. For example, in this Firebase app, it will be the schedule screen. Is one screen up from a session screen. So, for example, in this case, once user clicks on that, the schedule screen only exists in the installed app, basically the whole app experience. So at that moment, you should ask user to actually install the app if they want to see the rest of the app, because that's the only place they can go at this moment. Basically don't try to provide a different experience to user with the instant app. Try to give exact same experience they would have if they would install the app, because that's the point. This is kind of a preview of your app, so try to give this same experience, same feeling. Use smart locks for Android, so that the login process is smooth. When you promote installation, don't go crazy, don't show huge banners. Just use this get app icon from material design, and also just basically text should be just installed, not like get the app, upgrade or see the full experience or something. Don't go crazy. Yeah, so don't show, again, like screens that are not actually there, but if you install this full app, you will see that. Don't show this in instant apps, just remove those, in this case, tab, for example. And if they will install, just show it. And for payments, again, use Google Pay API. So it's, again, smooth. Yeah, this is the main point we came from. So make users share your content so that you spread the word of your app and you get more users, and your users also get a better experience. They can share the content without spending too much time on it. They can see the content without spending too much time on it. Yeah, that's pretty much it. And then you can also use this instant app experience again on your promotions. Like on Twitter, you can create promotion with the direct link to your app, your instant app. But with instant apps, it's mainly not necessary if you are just focusing on Android. It's not necessary to use Firebase Dynamic Links. But if you want the same experience, or at least better experience on iOS and web, then you can use dynamic links and instant apps together. So yeah, that's pretty much it. Thank you very much.
One of the latest things you've mentioned is removing content if you're an instant app. So you would only have that content if you have the full app installed. Is there an easier way for the app to know if it's running as an instant app? Or?
Yes, so there is an instant app SDK. Yeah. There's an instant app SDK, and using that SDK, basically you can just get something like instant app get content something that is instant app. So it's very straightforward. So you can easily learn if it's an instant app or full app. Thank you very much.
Thank you. And now welcome on stage, Ule.
How does this?